When you become the source of positivity and love, he wants to be around you. When he has to go to work and deal with the nonsense of work, but he knows he has a woman that when he's in her presence only speaks love and positivity into him, he wants to be there. He doesn't want to be out and about when he can be relaxed next to the woman that makes him feel good. So learning how to speak love and positivity into that man, learning how when you guys are discussing things, not to go to the negative, not to always sound so pessimistic. It doesn't mean that you cannot be honest about how you feel. And sometimes your honest feelings may come across as negative or pessimistic. But again, it's not what you say, but how you say it.
Hello bestie, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time turning through, you're welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like and give my video a thumbs up. In this video, we are sharing tips on how to make your man obsessed with you, immensely and instantly fall in love with you. This sounds like something you've been wanting to hear or learn about, then definitely want to keep watching.
I'm going to tell you the number one thing that keeps a woman in a man's interest. It keeps him wanting to be with her for their whole life. It keeps him addicted to her. It keeps him obsessed with her, and it's not what you think. It is her ability to put herself first, to be obsessed with her own journey, with her rest, with her peace, and with herself. It's her own self-interest, but by putting herself first. Why? Because when a woman stops focusing on him and puts herself first, he starts to worry. It increases his hustle, and not worry about her, but it means that she's not mothering him. She's not picking up after him. She's not thinking for him. He can't sit on the couch and do nothing. She's focused on herself. She is not hovering over him. She's not nagging him. She's not obsessed with him. So now he's got to hustle. And what happens is he can appreciate her for being this magnetic, incredible woman that she is. And he is also becoming successful around her because all she has is magnetic, happy energy because she's making herself happy. And by default, he then can strive and succeed because she's got all the good intentions for him. And female energy is magnetic and it is incredible. So if you have good wishes for him and you have good intentions for him, he will succeed in life. It's like manifesting for him. That is the number one thing. So be about yourself and he will be about you.
The one boundary I had that made men want me more. Let me tell you what it was. The one boundary I always had in the dating scene was having a set curfew. Wait, what? Oh yeah. I always let the man know that I needed to be home at a certain time. And believe me, they wanted to know when they can see me next. I never had to initiate anything because I left them wanting more. And that instantly lets him know that I value my time, that with him or without him, I still have my own life. Men love women that respect themselves, especially women that respect their boundaries. We as women need to understand that and have that very clear. If a man does not like that or appreciate that, then he's a scum. Like, I'm sorry. That's just the truth. If a man can't appreciate his woman or a woman that respects herself and respects her boundaries, then he is not of high value. Now, there's a difference because there's a lot of women that say they respect their boundaries, but they're just being entitled. And there's a woman that actually respects her boundaries and says no politely. And always remember this. People want what they cannot have. So now that you set a limit, it's going to set an incentive and it's going to make you more attractive, more appealing. For starters, having a boundary and respecting it will set you apart from a lot of people. It'll make you more valuable. So imagine having a curfew. Just saying.
How to get in a guy's head. How to make him freaking obsessed with you. Now, I don't know if you're going to want to do this because they are going to be all over you. There will be no more chasing needed by your end. They're going to be wrapped around your little finger. Number one, text him his name and then don't answer. None. Done. We're ghost. We're gone. There is no response after that. He is going to be first kind of freaking out, kind of shitting himself, but then he's going to get into like, oh crap, I really want to know what she wants to say, whatever, and be so invested in you and in that conversation for as long as you don't answer. And then once it is a couple hours, and when I say a couple, I mean about 4 to 5 hours later, then you can say, oh crap, I totally forgot what I was going to say. He will be wondering about it for days. Number two, hold eye contact with him. It makes him so nervous and it creates like this sex drive and it'll make him want you even more. It'll make him start that obsession with you. But you have to keep the eye contact, like very strong and very not weird and awkward, but just like you're actually looking at him and you're looking directly into his eyes. My favorite thing in the world is telling a man that you don't know if he's your type. You're still kind of figuring it out. Now, this will make him want to be your type. This will make him want to figure out what your type is and be that person for you. And he's going to be invested into thinking everything that you want from him, and he's about to do that. Because men can't lose, and now it's a game to him. And last but not least, tell him that you feel safe with him. Guys love to be in their masculine era, and if you tell him that you feel safe with him, then he will be in that masculine era, and that is exactly how he wants to feel with a woman. So good luck, but use this wisely.
This is how your absence will actually make him want you more. You see, when women are in love, all we can think of is being close to him as much as possible. And because women are such emotional creatures, they can miss their man even if they haven't seen him just for a day. But because men are so goal-oriented, if his goal is you, then he will take every action necessary in order to win your heart. But for him to keep on wanting you, he must literally miss something about you. But when you are always available, when you tell him everything about yourself, there is literally nothing to miss. Look at how intrigued we all are by a queen, a princess, or a Hollywood movie star. Because we don't know everything about these people. We don't have access to them. If I would have coffee with Jennifer Aniston every morning and she would tell me all about herself, there would be no more mystery. The glue in your relationship is to make him feel that he never knows every little thing about you, because that will give him the feeling of missing you. That will give him the feeling of want to pursue you again and again. This is how you make a man instantly more interested in you. If lately he seems less interested in you and he stopped doing the things for you that he usually does. Or he was supposed to go out with you a couple of times, but then he cancelled last minute because he said he was busy with work. Then instead of doing what you usually do, like telling him that you feel that he doesn't care anymore, or asking him when you're going to see him, you are going to do something completely different. You're going to do the opposite of what he is used to seeing from you. You are going to tell him, I'm not mad. I'm just losing interest. When you say that to a man, it's like you put a sharp knife straight into his sensitive ego. Because when a woman complains to her man about him not giving her the attention she wants, the message he gets is that she is crazy about him. But when you tell him that his actions leave you with a feeling of indifference, that makes him feel nervous. It's like you give him an instant boost in trying harder for this relationship. Because when you threaten a man that you're gonna leave him, it just shows him that you see yourself as a victim and that you're desperate. But when you show him that you've detached, you've pulled back because you really don't care, then he's gonna run to fix this.
Alright ladies, so today I'm going to teach you how to attract a man and get him attached to you. I'll be specifically focusing on one concept that has to do with male psychology when it comes to relationships, dating, and love. There are basically certain instincts that we have ingrained in our DNA, and as a woman, you should be aware of this if you want to be able to attract someone and keep him committed to you. My name is Ismael Gomez. I'm a coach, writer, and speaker. And ladies, if you're multitasking right now, just stop whatever you're doing, give me your full attention, because what I'm about to teach you will transform your love life completely. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the concept I want to talk about today is this. Men want to compete for a woman they feel is out of their reach. Say that with me again. Men want to compete for a woman they feel is out of their reach. I don't care where he's from. I don't care what he does on the weekends. I don't care what the relationship with his father is. Every single man out there, including myself, wants to compete for a woman. Call it childish if you want, immature, but you see, we men compete in all areas of our lives. It's a bit different than a woman's experience. This took me over 30 years to understand, until I started expanding my business, my relationships, and I realized that everything I want, okay, the woman I want, the wealth I'm creating for my family, the clients I wish to help, all of it, there's another man out there willing to take it away from me. I mean, ladies, I can tell you so many stories of like lawsuits I've been involved in the past from other businesses, and a lot of men trying to steal the girl that I was dating at the moment. So why am I telling you all this? Because you see, most people don't like things that are easy to get, especially mature men. Think about this, okay? What if you walk into a movie theater and on the right side, you notice 500 people waiting in line to watch a movie. And then on the left side, you notice 10 people in line waiting to watch another movie. I bet you will be instantly more curious about the one with the 500 people waiting because you want to know what's going on. Why are so many people interested in this movie? So as a woman, I suggest to make yourself worth competing for. I know this sounds quite bizarre as I say it, okay? But again, don't get upset at biology. Start, arguing with me in the comments. I'm telling you how this works. So it's up to you to implement it or not. And a lot of men try to hide this innate instinct from women to maintain their leverage. That way, you ladies keep chasing them. But the more you keep chasing a man, okay, the more he ends up not caring, ignoring you, and focusing his attention on the one woman he feels that he cannot get. You don't need to text him. You don't need to call him. You don't need to spend your time thinking, what can I say so this man can love me back? If the man you love ignores you, it's not about what you're giving him, it's about what you're taking away from yourself. Because if you go and you focus on your self-development, your passion, your mind, body, and spirit, and this man still ignores you, what you discover is that you were only chasing the feeling of being loved. But now, you don't need it from anybody because you know how to grow it from within. Okay, so here's how a man thinks when it comes to attraction, alright? If she's pursuing me, okay, if she's chasing me, it must be because she's not someone that has a lot to offer. Let that sink in, okay? If you're pursuing him, he automatically thinks that you don't have a lot of other options, or maybe there's something that you're lacking. Now, ladies, don't confuse this with, showing interest. This doesn't mean that you should never initiate contact, you should never flirt with him or give him a compliment. And if you're curious how to approach this, okay, you can watch my other video here on the channel, How to Flirt with a Man. All those things that are mentioned are completely okay as long as you let him pursue you afterwards. It's like you open the door, but then you need to let him walk in. Not you opening the door and waving your hands at him like, hey, come here, let me show you what I have. Also, another crucial point to consider is if you meet a guy who's already fixated on a woman that he cannot get, maybe it's a co-worker, a crush, an ex, you should avoid this guy right away until his fixation dissipates. Trying to get him to forget that person will be a huge waste of time because that one woman, since she's not giving him, any attention or validation, his energy and mind will be fixated on winning her over. The number one mistake that many women make in relationships is expecting a man to love you unconditionally. The thought that a man should love you no matter what. And at the same time, you will never love a man unconditionally, right? Because a romantic relationship between a man and a woman will only last when there's a constant exchange of value and a shared vision. If you look at your children, that's unconditional love because in a way they're a part of you. But with a partner, you have to choose each other every day to make it work. So what are the next steps to take, okay? How do you implement all this knowledge that I have mentioned? Well, let me read you something from a renowned psychological study on relationships. Like, here's a key sentence that I saved for you ladies. Research shows that the more power someone has in a relationship, the less committed he is to it. Meaning, if he feels that he has power over you, okay, like he doesn't have to put any effort, he believes that he's smarter and doesn't trust your opinion, he will not commit fully in the relationship. And as I say this, you might think that it sounds like a narcissistic man that I'm describing, but I'm referring to male psychology when it comes to attraction and long-term commitment. Like, this applies to all types of men. He needs to feel that he has won the lottery with having you by his side, that he's the luckiest man there is because you picked him. Because again, you ladies are the final selectors. And going back to the point about power that I mentioned, one of the things that a recent study also shows is that the one who is in power in a relationship also has higher quality alternatives in life. And alternatives means all the things that fulfill this person outside of the relationship. This was one of the biggest lessons that I learned 5 years ago when I was going through the most difficult breakup that I've ever experienced. When the relationship ended, I turned around and I realized that I had made my ex the center of my world. I was completely isolated from my friends, my family. I had lost my spark when it came to purpose and meaning, so I had to slowly reconnect with all of that. You become a lot more attractive to a man when he sees that you have a lot going on for yourself. And if he were to walk away, you would just go back to your amazing life that you built before you met him. Okay, beautiful. So let's do a quick review of what you learned today. Again, when you're trying to attract a man, he needs to feel that he has to compete for your attention, that you're somehow out of his reach, and that he has to prove you his worth. And even when you get into a relationship, this dynamic never changes. As long as you always keep expanding, working on your confidence, your self-esteem, take care of your body, mind, and spirit, he will feel that he needs to constantly improve himself to stay worthy of you. Because the number one thing that makes most men lose interest in a woman, do you know what that is? Is when he takes you for granted. And I know that you heard me say it before here on the channel, but what does that mean, okay? What does it mean when a man takes you for granted? Well, it simply means that your value is fixed and predictable, meaning you're not growing outside of the relationship. There's no mystery left. There's no sense of wonder or curiosity about the person that you're becoming. This lack of growth and excitement can make him less invested and less appreciative, ultimately undermining the connection that you both share. Alright ladies, so that's all I wanted to discuss today. If you're unclear about something that I spoke about, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'm glad that you've chosen me to learn about self-love, dating, and relationships, because like I always say, for your relationships to change, you need to change. Have a beautiful day.
How do men fall in love? A reminder. Starts with some lust, right? Testosterone, it's raging. They want to get it in. It's primal. Then it moves to the longer honeymoon kind of attraction phase, right? Dopamine, right? The excitement, goal, motivation, literal hunger, right? Wanting to hunt and understand, know about you, all the butterflies in the stomach. That ties to then norepinephrine, right? The epinephrine system creates anxiety. It was in our reptilian brains, it makes us be fearful about approaching someone. So having that norepinephrine helps us overcome that. That allows us to either, one, look for mates who are similar to our family, attachment theory, things that are familiar versus what's good for us, and also our opposites genetically in your immune system, so you optimize for your offspring. And then serotonin, right? Mood, balance, stress, etc. To move a man to the final stage, vasopressin is a dominant chemical, which is stress bonding, right? Where he's problem solving for you, he's problem solving with you, and associates your help as both of you solving joint goals. And what happens is when men commit to a woman, right? And they've shown even whether he's married or not, oxytocin, which is more predominant, women predominantly make this naturally. Men, the oxytocin is able to have more impact because testosterone drops 21% when a man is committed to a woman, and testosterone typically suppresses the effects of oxytocin. When testosterone's lower when he's committed, oxytocin has that pair bonding love effect. So your goal is to move him through this.
Ladies, isn't it one of the most frustrating things in life when you have a crush on someone, when you've developed feelings for them, but they're just not that into you? He hardly notices you, or he gives you the bare minimum, or worse yet, he throws you into the deadly friend zone. My name is Ismael Gomez. I'm a coach, writer, and speaker, and I'm here to tell you that if you want to impress a man and get him interested in you, then you are on the right channel. And let's begin. Number 1, extended eye contact. When it comes to attracting someone, ladies, how you communicate with your eyes can make a significant difference. Prolonged eye contact has been thought to release phenylethylamine, a chemical responsible for feelings of attraction. A social psychologist discovered that two people in conversation normally make eye contact only 30 to 60% of the time. However, couples who are in love look at each other for 75% of the time or more. So next time that you're having a conversation with the guy that you like, try to stare into his eyes and hold his gaze just a little longer than usual. But ladies, the key is to maintain a balance, okay? Let your eyes reflect warmth and curiosity, not extreme intensity. Number 2, emotional resonance. Many scientific studies have shown that your emotions can trigger the same emotions in another person. In other words, they can feel what you feel. If you approach a man and you start feeling awkward or tense, men are usually pretty bad at making a woman feel reassured in those moments. Instead, he may become more distant and uncomfortable, which can create a negative feedback loop. However, the flip side is just as true. You can use this principle to your advantage by turning the heat up in your interactions. If you're feeling turned on, don't hide it, and he will likely mirror that arousal. So don't hide your feelings for him. Let your body language, facial expressions, and voice tonality naturally convey your attraction. Number 3, social proof and pre-selection. Alright ladies, social proof is when other people's opinions and actions affect how we see and act on things. Basically, if we notice that other people like or value something, then we're more likely to think that is good or valuable. So every time that a man sees you, he's analyzing how other people interact with you. If he sees you surrounded by friends who are enjoying your company, he'll think that you're someone worth getting to know. On the other hand, if he sees you with someone that he doesn't like or doesn't get along with, it might negatively affect his perception of you. Like I've told you in many of my videos, when a guy is somewhat interested in you, the first thing that he'll do is look at your social media and how you're interacting with other people on the internet. And finally, pre-selection means that if he sees that other men are interested in you, he may think that there's something special about you and be more inclined to be interested as well. Number 4, scarcity. Time and time again, psychological studies have found that humans place a higher value on objects that are scarce and lower value on objects that are abundant. That's why gold is so valuable, right? Because there's only a limited amount of it. Based on the same principle, when a man sees you as someone who has high standards, who carries herself differently than the rest, you become more attractive to him. I mean, the simplest advice that I always give women, for example, is to never text or speak with him on the phone for more than 30 minutes. And to that I say, well, just wait until you see that man chasing the woman that barely replies to his text messages and doesn't answer his phone calls. If you can spend 3 hours on the phone with someone, it probably means that you don't have much else going on in your life. That's the reality. So take a look at your own life, your goals and responsibilities, and see how well you're balancing your priorities. Number 5, oxytocin. This powerful chemical plays a crucial role in how we form and maintain emotional bonds with other people. One major way to release oxytocin is engaging in deep, meaningful conversations. Let him share personal stories about his life and listen actively to strengthen your bond with him. Also, physical touch like hugging, kissing, holding hands, mindful compliments that make him feel valued and loved. And I know that many of you are thinking, Ismael, I did all those things for one guy and he still treated me like an option. But remember, ladies, that all these things that I'm mentioning affect each other. If he doesn't see you as a woman that values herself and leads a fulfilling life, the impact of your efforts will be diminished. Number 6, the personality hack. A study in 2014 found that having a positive personality actually increases the attractiveness of your face. If you're mean to a man and he's attracted to that, trust me when I tell you that you are attracting an insecure man with unhealthy habits that will destroy you from the inside out. And final, number 7, consistency bias. Imagine if you could slightly influence how a man acts by simply pointing out the qualities that you admire in him. This psychological influence relies on a cognitive bias where people tend to align their current behavior with how they perceive themselves based on past behavior. And here's how it works. When you compliment or acknowledge a positive quality in him, like saying, "You're such a gentleman," like you really know how to treat a woman, you're tapping into his self-image. So whenever he's with you, he will most likely keep exhibiting those traits that you pointed out. This is what I'm always telling all of you, that when you're having a problem in your relationships, focus on positive reinforcement rather than nagging or criticizing. If you tell someone, "I love when you do that," they're more likely to do it than if you say, "I hate when you do that."
You're welcome back. Hope you've learned 1 or 2 things from that video. Okay, please once again don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Kindly give my video a thumbs up. Check out my other videos. Why not? Please put on the bell notification button so you will be the first to know when next I upload a new video.